They're
Just
no.
Yeah, right. The Bengals. See, well, that's what I was talking about before the show. This boy is so culturally illiterate. We're doing our best over here. You don't know the Bengals?
Where is it?
No, the Bengals ain't the football team in Cincinnati. You know, the Bengals, forget it. Anyway, we have Pamela Townsend acting here from the Crowley House Open. Being this is a really rough neighborhood, she brought some help along with her. And you are, sir?
Christopher Atkins.
You're, that sounds familiar. Y'all, I guess this is your son, right?
Yes,
Okay, good for you.
He's also our media team.
Media team. You're the team, are you? You're it. Okay. So we were going to talk a little about your background because you've been in this job now about 4 months.
Yes.
Okay, and it's been just one smooth ride, no doubt. You know, I've been doing, like I said before the show, we had a little prefab convocation and conversation. Convocation. I got that on my mind. BSD had their convocation today at Centennial, and boy, backed up in the traffic. Anyway, when we're going to be talking about the House of Hope and their activities and what they got coming up this fall, because I've been doing this for a while. I've been talking to nonprofits, particularly food banks, and it's you know, the fall is busy,
Yes.
particularly with the holiday season, and you know, of course, you just finished summer, and I talked to my friends over at Promises and at Harvest House, and they seem to have met the demand, but there was a lot of demand in the summertime.
Yes.
And you'll be talking about that too, you know, and what y'all need and whatnot. Before we jump into that, let's get to the guys who pay for all this, get our sponsors. Have y'all been to our place here in town since y'all been? It's right down the street.
Yes, we've been to our place.
The
It's
one-
a nice
Yeah, the one here or the one in Burleson?
here.
Okay, there's the one, I go to the one in Burleson, which is very popular, and it's on the highway and Alsbury, and you go there. I missed my bi-weekly meeting with my Sunday school men because I just couldn't get up this morning. Anyway, they get up and they solve the world's problems, and they had to do without me today. But anyway, it's a great place. And
Yeah, that one's hard to get into. I mean, there's always traffic there. So
well, it's
must be pretty good.
It is excellent, and the service is good. And what I always like about it is they know you, is that you have a very consistent staff. You know, you're not having constant turnover.
Yes.
And so you walk in, hey, how you doing? And then when our guys get together, the waitress goes, you want this, you want this, you want this. You know, so there you go. Also, Gina's Pizza, which also is owned by the same owner, Otto, who's very generous. Gina's Pizza, I'll be there tonight. In fact, a buddy of mine are going to have some pizza. My wife has kicked me out of the house tonight, but it's her turn to host the ladies' prayer meeting. And we can't, as men, are not allowed in there. I kind of wonder what we're talking about. What are they talking about us? I wonder. What are they praying about? Yeah, they're praying.
for you.
They need, well, we need it, that's for sure. But anyway, Gina's Pizza is great. Tonight is chess night. And then tomorrow is bingo night, which is two very popular nights. And then on Sunday nights, they have live music. And Wednesday nights have karaoke, which I've been asked not to attend for some reason. Anyway.
Wait a minute. What about the live music? What generation is it? I mean,
It's usually solo or duos acts. And so when we talk about music, it's not like, full on bands very often. There is the one band, they have a group called Susie and the Sissies, Susie Morgan, who's kind of the local talent arranger in this whole thing. I mean, she's been here a long time. Not that she's old. She's just been here a while.
okay.
I just want to make sure, Susie, if you're hearing that, you're not old. You're beautiful as always. But anyway, the point is that usually it's solo acts and whatnot, country type or folk, or they're not going to be playing Led Zeppelin or anything like that.
Yes,
You know what
absolutely.
Led Zeppelin is, do you, Josh?
I do.
Okay, good. Just making sure. You never know. No, it's
Okay, what about Johnny Cash? Do you know who Johnny Cash is?
I do.
okay.
Oh, see, he's doing good.
Yeah. Well, if you didn't know Johnny Cash, I'd
Not,
fire
not
him
as
from the
bad
show.
as Brad makes it out to be.
No, it's as bad. Anyway, also, my friend John Williams at Old Pro Roofing, 817-734-2756, a really great guy. He'll come into your house and check your roof out. It costs you nothing, and he'll tell you the truth about the roof, as we say. He's not going to try to upsell you or give you some doomsday scenario. He comes out to my house once a year to do it. And what's important about getting an inspection, it's not just an eyeball and, hey, you're okay. It's a written report. And so if you do have damage, you have something to take to the insurance companies, which sometimes they can be a bit difficult.
Yes.
Yes, you sound like you've been through this.
Nothing like an annual report to help.
Well, that way can say, when they started doing this old damage routine, said, don't think so. Here's the proof right here.
Oh, yeah.
And so Pro has been around a long time. Now, you're pretty new to this area, right?
Yes.
Pro has been around a long time, and they're run by old Burleson hands. And so, we know who they are, and you know where to find them. Also, another old hand, Jeff Kelly, 817-781-0546 with the Weathington Agency. So if you're looking to move or relocate in this area, he's the man to do it. He's really doing pretty well, and I think a lot of it has to do with advertising. Mm-hmm. Well, I'd like to tell him that, but anyway, he's also very good at his job. Also at Jeff Kelly Realty.com, it's the Weathington Agency, which is right off of Wilshire. So again, you're dealing with home folks. That's a big deal around here. Yes. One of the things that I don't know, you said you've been around a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Have you lived in a town about this size before?
I have.
Okay.
We have military installations
mm-hmm.
about this size.
Mm-hmm.
We have some real big ones and some
mm-hmm.
really little ones.
Well, Burleson takes a real pride in its mutual support, you might say, local business. We try to do local as best we can. When I moved here, I started teaching in 88, and I moved here in 91. And so I've been here a long time. When I moved here, there's nothing. I mean, very little. In terms like restaurants and stuff like that, we had to go to Fort Worth for about everything.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, they had like a local hardware store, and they had like, a couple of local stores and stuff. But if you didn't have like a Lowe's, we didn't have Home Depot, we didn't have, the Walmart was about a third of the size that it is now. And so I've seen this town really change a lot, and he's been on top of that. I mean, and you need somebody local to understand that, because if you want to try to shave $1 or $2 off by doing online, you're going to regret it.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, 817-781-0546. Also, here's a guy you might want to talk to sometime, Rod Lewis at the Burleson News Express. It's a print newspaper, which we don't get very much of in these days. Used to be maybe close to 15 years ago. We had the Burleson Star, we had the Crowley Star, the Joshua Star. They were all by the same group. They're all gone now, right? He prints out once a week. If you're on a subscribe list, you'll get it Monday, which it'll be waiting on me right now. I didn't have time to go by the mailbox. Anyway, Burleson News Express is a print newspaper, and if you want to get a hold of Rod Lewis, and you could talk about. Is somebody calling? No, it happens. That happens all the time. I get phone calls in the middle of the show, and it's like, "Hey, I'm busy here." They say, "Mr. Trump, you're just going to have to wait." And so, yeah, Burleson News Express. It's a print newspaper. Rod Lewis needs material, and if you ever wanted to talk about some of the things you're doing, being from Crowley isn't going to make a difference. I mean, Crowley, Burleson, Joshua, Alvarado, it's one big happy family. So there you go.
Okay.
Also, True Climate, heating and cooling. You don't want your air conditioner to go out this time of year. 682-244-2019, 682-244-2019. Will Cobb and his sister Emily Cobb will take care of you. They're like Pro. They come out and check your air conditioner. They got a deal for $99 a year. It's kind of like a package you can get, and it'll give you great discounts and inspections and stuff like that. And you need to get it inspected, because if it goes out in early August, you got a problem.
Got a big problem.
Yeah.
Very big problem.
Have you lived in Texas long?
No.
Okay, well, this is your first August in Texas?
Oh, no.
Okay, well, this is actually a light one. A lot of people are like, "Oh, my Lord, I'm about to die." And they're like, "Oh, I'm about to put a sweater on." So anyway. Well, let's talk about yourself. I mean, you've been around a lot. You said military family and things of that nature. So what do you call hometown?
Well, we call Texas home now.
Okay.
Cleburne, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I am definitely military retired, and of course, my son is military brat.
Are you? So are you military brat as well? I was born on a military base.
Yeah.
For you?
Yes.
Which base?
I don't remember which base I was born on.
It was New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah, so it was Pemberton. It was right downtown.
So what branch were y'all in?
Air Force.
Air Force. Okay. My cousin's son is lieutenant colonel in the Air Force.
Yes.
And he was stationed at Enid and all this. And so I was born at Fort Bragg. My dad was an Army
Yes.
Army Ranger and jumper and all that stuff. So anyway, so you've been around, huh?
Yes. So I did over 30 years in the military, and it came time to retire. I could have stayed a little longer, but I think it was time to go for me. And so I said to my son that had been on that journey with me his whole life, born and grew up there, hey, where do you want to retire? You've always followed me. This time I'll follow you. And so
you chose Texas.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I love Texas, but there you are.
She's from Connecticut, and she didn't want to be in the cold, deal with all the snow and stuff.
Yeah.
And so she was like, I need somewhere warm.
Well, you
I need
picked the right
somewhere,
place.
veteran friendly. And I was like, well, there's no better place in Texas for that. So
You got that right. I mean, Texas really is a very pro-military state. I mean, they're not only just because we have numerous bases all over, but you have a lot of retired vets here. My neighbor's a retired Air Force colonel. And, he's from Texas, but when it was his turn to retire, he said, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm coming back to Texas.
Yes.
My friend Darren Nash over in Cleveland, he's trying to move back to Burleson in September. Thank you for all your service. He's a fairly regular listener. The thing about Texas, I've lived here almost all my life. The only 2 years I didn't live in Texas, I was 4th and 5th grade in North Carolina, in Charlotte. And then when I was born, my parents moved back to Texas when I was like 1 year old. So I mean, I'm just like, I'm the only person in my family on either side, mom or dad's side, that wasn't born in either Oklahoma or Texas for like 3 generations. And, I don't know if I find any other place to live but here. And a lot of it has to do with the support of groups like yours, particularly Burleson area.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure you've noticed that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the area. I was a little nervous when he said, let's go to Texas. I'm like, we don't have no family there. What are you doing right now? But we absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It's like being in a military community all over again. We do have so many vets that you run into. Oftentimes we would say in the military, that you don't understand what it likes to be in that military community,
Right.
but we've felt that in Texas, and it's just been wonderful. For me, settling down here, the military takes a toll on your bones.
Yeah,
And so I needed something to keep these bones warm.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And I said, well, I don't want to go back to Chicago where I was born. And then my mom moved us to Las Vegas, and I definitely did not want to go back to Las Vegas and live in a bowl.
I've never been to Vegas.
Yeah, it's just a big bowl.
Well, as Baptists, they say that we take the 10 Commandments and a $10 bill and we break neither one at Las Vegas. So, so
There you go.
We're not, I don't know if we're their market. But,
no, didn't want to be there.
Well, what I like about Texas is, again, we kind of go back to this, is they support this. And we have very active churches. We have very active nonprofits. And we have people just willing to help. I mean, I get this a lot. Oh, my friend Kim Jones, whom she's been on the show a few times. Okay. She's from Property Tax Justice Foundation. She deals with
you're welcome.
Evaluation disputes. Thank you for your service. Yeah, she's very active in trying to get people to get an appropriate evaluation of the property.
Yes,
and so. But anyway, what am I saying? Anyway, I'm just saying that the people of Texas, by and large, it's just always been their way, their nature. And I guess you find that all throughout the South. You've probably been stationed in some southern bases, I would imagine.
North Carolina.
Okay.
That's probably as southern as I
really?
got.
Okay.
North Carolina. A lot of my time was overseas. I was a medical readiness officer, so healthcare administrator. So my job was planning and operations for our doctors and our surgeons and all of our providers, basically training them to operate in wartime situations.
Well, I bet you're paying attention to what's going on now, right?
Well, yeah, you kind of have to do that a little bit, right? Because I want to make sure they come back home to their family.
Exactly.
And so we had about a 98% survival rate in getting people back home.
Where in particular?
Oh, we would go everywhere.
Yeah.
Afghanistan. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Al-Udeid, Kuwait, Iraq. We've had to go through there several times. Kosovo.
Yeah, we forget that we're still there.
Yes,
A lot of people just forget that entirely. And we've been there a long time, about 40 years almost, or 30 years since the Clinton administration, I believe. Yeah. And it's like an afterthought.
Yes, but we're still there.
Yeah, I know. And well, I'm not going to bring us down talk about the war, certainly, because that's been a tough road. But anyway, as far as this particular job,
yes,
how did you land into Crowley House of Hope?
Well, that was very interesting. So when we arrived here, we found a church where our pastor is Pastor Drew A. Hogan, and he was on an adventure. He says, I want to do something different. I want to start something different. I want a church where, we don't have to worry about people meeting their 10% tithing and offering. And, times are too hard. And so I agreed. And so we started looking around for a building. And so he says, hey, what about Crowley House of Hope? And I'm like, well, I don't know. And so he was like, well, let's just talk to them. And I said, okay. So we went as a team, as a church, to talk to them about not just volunteering, but putting a church in the pantry, on Sundays.
Right.
And great conversation. And Stephanie Vaughn, she was at the time, Liz had left. So Liz was gone. Our clerk was gone, and Stephanie was holding it down by herself, all one person. She was running the food pantry, the thrift store. And so she was being worked really hard. And she started telling me the story, and I just fell in love with it. And so I started volunteering, and she said, hey, why don't you come on over and, submit your resume and, see what the board says. And so I did.
My friend Sandy Mason, who will, by the way, be on the show tomorrow.
Okay.
If you want to leave your contact information, he's with the American Legion.
Absolutely.
He does also stuff with Parks and Wildlife, and we talk about hunting and things like that. Not that I know anything about hunting.
Okay.
Okay. Here it is, Sandy. She's leaving a card for you.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. But they do a lot of good stuff, and they're, big participants in our local parade. He's a very fine man.
Oh, wonderful.
Anyway, it's been my experience talking to nonprofits all these years, which, like I said, is coming up on the 7th anniversary, which is astounding to me.
Yeah.
It's a 24/7 job.
Yes.
It isn't something it's like, okay, I'm done for the day. You take it home with you, don't you?
You try not to, but it's hard not to, because it becomes a ministry. It becomes your heart. It's family, not just the volunteers, but the customers, clients, patients. Right. It just becomes family. It's part of the community, and you just fall in love.
It's
you
difficult.
Really do.
That's part of it. Is I talk to people in this and say, how do you separate your emotions from this? Because everybody walks in the door, you want to just help them 110%.
Yes.
But resources are limited.
It is.
And so sometimes you got to ration them in a sense, and it's hard. And you hear these stories
yes.
of what's going on in people's lives, and you think, I wish I could solve that for them, but you really can't. In a lot of cases, what you're doing is helping them through the day. But if they have all these other issues in their life, from what they tell me, it's very difficult sometimes to kind of separate yourself and get too emotionally involved in that.
Well, for me, and I can only speak for me, having traveled the world, and what you see is different people, same problems. Different people around the world, but same problems. And so we've learned to deal with that. And what it means to me is that prayer changes things. Prayer truly changes things. And no, we can't solve everybody's problems. But with that being said, we don't know why God has them in that problem.
Well,
and so we have to do the best we can with what we have to help them where they are at that moment. And that's why it's very important for all of us to stay connected, the nonprofits, because what I don't have, I may be able to call Lisa, and Lisa say, oh, yeah, send them over. I can help you out. I have this. Or, no, call this person.
You talking about Lisa Schwartz?
Yes.
Right.
And so we have to work together as a team. sometimes we might call our partners at Hughley Health and say, hey, this is our situation. Can you help us? And they're amazing. They reach out and they help. So some problems we can solve, but some problems maybe we can just solve for that day.
Right.
Every day is a new day.
Well, it's like the feeding of the 5,000. What do they do for lunch the next day? We didn't get that part in the scripture, right? So
they followed him across the water.
what gets to me about that particular story is like, why was that little boy's mom the only one that thought about packing a lunch? You have all these guys, did anybody else think of it? But maybe that's the way God arranged it so he can do the miracle and all that. But
That's
still,
right.
but I'm just saying that, we sometimes people get I don't know. I don't want to say depressed. That's not the word I'm looking, but discouraged. That's the word.
Yes.
Because by giving, because they're going to have the same problem the next day. Well, yeah, but you solved today's problem.
But you solved today's problem.
And that's going to be good enough in a lot of cases.
One of the things that we often talk about is, you have the respectfully, you have the needy and you have the greedy.
Yes, we've talked about that too.
You're right. And so you don't know what you don't know. And so you have to treat everyone like the needy and just try to address it as much as you can in that moment. And in prayer, you may not pray out loud, but you may pray over that family. And God can change some things for them.
Now, House of Hope isn't affiliated with one church, but it is a faith-based organization.
Yes.
All right.
And we affiliate with all the churches. We love them all because they're amazing. And so we work with every single one of them.
It's like Harvest House.
Yes.
It's a faith-based organization, and but they're not. Let's just say it's not a requirement that the recipient be faith-based.
No, not at all.
Right, and same with Promises. It is associated with First Baptist, but I've been in there several times, and the person themselves have to ask for prayer.
Yes.
We're not going to say, okay, you're here now as the price of the groceries. You're going to have to, do this, that, the other, nothing like that at all.
Right.
And sometimes people get the idea, both donors and recipients, that those are requirements. You have to, be able to recite scripture to get groceries. No. Even if you're a full-on heathen.
We don't even mention it when they walk in the door.
Right.
We just say, welcome in, and we just want them to feel comfortable.
I think the word of Christ gets out with service as much as it does with a lot of words. And so there you go. And you, Mr. Atkins, you're the media guy, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you've been with this outfit about as long, I guess?
Just as long as she has.
Is this your full-time gig?
No.
Do you have a other gig, or is this?
Yes, I'm a full-time.
This is your full-time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, so you're the one that produces their material and whatnot. And well, didn't y'all just have an event the other day?
Did.
Saturday?
We did. Yes.
Do you have any pictures of it?
I believe so.
What did you send to
I
Josh?
sent him one or two from the event.
Okay, Josh, why don't you fling there we go. Look at that. All right.
This event, or
So those are our student volunteers. We were recognizing them
again
as they get ready to go back to school. But we did do the back to school backpack event as well.
Yeah. Well, I want to say, since y'all are new to
There's one of our giving events. Hughley Health.
These aren't recipients; these are volunteers.
These are
little kids.
volunteers. Yes.
I promise you, it'll make an impact on them. Because when I was a young man, teenage, preteen years, and our church youth group would do things like this.
Yes.
It still left an impact on me. That still resonates. So that's a big thing for them. Are these brothers?
Yes, they're brothers. They're twins. And the little people girl in the middle, that's their neighbor. And she learned what they were doing, and she wanted to come out and join them.
She's a cutie, and she.
Yeah, they brought in over 500 pounds of food for the pantry. So it was pretty amazing. And that was one of those days when we really needed some food. We really needed it. So they did a fantastic job. And their parents was there, but they were like, no, I'll push it up there myself. I want to put it on the scale myself. I mean, they did a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm. Again, the impact that it has on the giver can't be understated. I mean, we think, the people receiving this food, and that we think of them, but the people that are involved in this.
Yes.
I mean, when, I don't like to advertise it too much, but I do stuff with Promises, and, because I don't want to pat myself on the back and all this other business, but, I bring in some stuff that they need, and there have been 2-3 times, and it's like, that's exactly what we needed.
Yes.
And I just feel Yes.
It touches your heart, doesn't it? I mean, it touches your heart. I mean, it really does. It pulls at that heartstring, and you're like, "Oh my God, this is amazing."
Yeah, it really does. You feel good about
okay
yourself,
to feel
and that's
like that.
It sure enough is. It's it is. It's great to get back in the car and feel good about yourself for doing something. There you are, and this is.
So their grandfather was here visiting for the summer. So this is their grandfather, and I just wanted to let him know how wonderful of a job he had done with his daughter and his grandbabies. And so he was just such a proud granddaddy, man. That was just such a great moment. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
He's like, they let me tag along.
Yeah. Now, this event Saturday was to help kids get ready for school, which starts tomorrow, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Boy, my poor teacher friends. I used to hate in-service. I've said that on the air more than once. I used to just despise it because they're just sitting there and like, I got things to do. And I got to waste my time with this. But anyway, school in Burleson, I think, starts Wednesday. And I think 4th is today.
Yeah.
And, and there are a lot of groups that try to help the kids get started in school, but y'all are going to be needed in October, too.
Yes.
And in February and in April. I mean, this is not like, okay, here's a new backpack and maybe, in some cases, a new pair of shoes or whatever. But y'all were doing more than just stuff. Y'all were doing like, when we talked Saturday, you had medical things going on.
Yes, so we have some things going on over at the medical clinic. Right now, we have the only medical charity clinic in Crowley, and so we're always having shots over there for the kids, and taking care of that, and just getting people ready for school. And just getting people back on their feet, especially folks that have lost their job and still trying to make it. This is making a world of difference, because that's the first thing that goes in someone's budget. Like, hey, I can't afford medical, so I'm just gonna. I'll get to it when I get to it, and hope I don't have an accident.
Right. And the thing about it is, most of the clients, people think, well, don't they have Medicaid? No, they don't, because they're working poor, and that's the deal. There's a group over in Burleson near my church, near First Baptist, about a Christian physician's clinic, and they're swamped. They don't have the space or the personnel that probably the demand would ask for. Now, I'm not saying they're inadequate to the job, but just there's a lot of people that want it. And I have a couple of friends in my Sunday school class that volunteer during the week, and they'll say that 99% of them have jobs. They're working, local retail, or they're looking somewhere. And we've talked about this before. You get a car repair, you got a problem in certain cases. I mean, I had my car worked on, and God blessed me enough to be able to take care of it, but it was expensive.
Yes.
And, some people, it's like a car repair or rent, or I'm just going to turn off the air conditioning.
One financial disaster away from just tanking it. And so we try to prevent that, even if it's just one meal a month that we can help folks get through. We can get through that whole week. They can come in and get that food, and it'll get them through 1 week. That's one less week to worry about.
That's one less week, yeah. And I'm looking here at your medical clinic, and you talk about, you have some donations and all that. These are doctors. These aren't, volunteers that are, checking your temperature. These are, the clinic, you have people coming in from Hughley to look at it. What the patients, it's 76 new patients.
Yes.
Last year, 242 total patient encounters. And, a lot of the things about these medical encounters, if you will, we're not talking about a kidney transplant. We're talking about the kid has the crud or something like that, or the woman has a sinus infection, all right, which, and they just need medication. They need the doctor to look at them for 10 minutes and whatever else. Yes. But they'll go without that, and they just kind of grind through the day ill.
Well, sometimes there's some things you can go without, like you could go without, if you get a cold, it'll eventually go away, right? But depending on your immune system, sometimes we get things and it don't just go away. Yeah. And so you do have to be seen by a doctor, and all of our doctors are definitely credentialed, and a lot of them come from Hughley Health. Right. And yes, not only do we see them, but if they need any labs or x-rays, those are free. So that's very important. Oftentimes that takes a lot of money. And if they need that first prescription, oftentimes we can give them that first prescription as well to get them started, especially if they're supposed to be on high blood pressure medicine and they haven't been taking it.
Right.
That could be very dangerous.
There's a couple of, you mentioned high blood pressure. There's another one that gets to me is glucose counts. I'm a diabetic, and unfortunately, I had medical care back 25 years ago when I was first diagnosed, and a lot of people just don't bother getting diagnosed because they can't afford it. And so we got people walking around probably with high sugar numbers, and they may or may not even know it, or if they do know it, they can't do anything about it. And you say, well, they can just change their diet. Not really. It's not. I've learned another thing as well is that the working class, so to speak, the working people don't have time to come home and prepare a nice, well balanced meal. And a lot of them have two jobs.
Yes.
And so they'll go through the Taco Bell or whatever on one, leaving one, going to the other. And that's
and what a lot of folks don't understand either is, unfortunately, to eat healthy has become more expensive.
Very much more expensive
than eating some of the junk food out there. I mean, if top ramen is $1 and I can, get 4 bags of top ramen for my kids versus, you go and you try to buy salad bag, and a salad bag just for the salad is $3.95. So you haven't even brought any sides for it, and so it can be very expensive buying that produce. And so that's why we always try to have fresh produce every day. When the pantry is open, we try to have that fresh produce for everyone.
Is that one of the hardest things to keep on the shelf? Because it is for promises.
The fresh produce?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, because there's a shelf life,
Yeah, right. Okay.
There's a shelf life for that produce, and so it doesn't last like other stuff, but you just got to make sure, and it's so expensive, right? And so Hughley does a fantastic job helping us, but it is very, very expensive. We also have Walmart and Kroger's that help us as well, but it gets very expensive, the produce itself.
Right, and Promises has connections like y'all's, but they're getting what is aged out from those stores.
Yes.
So you basically have maybe 2 or 3 days.
Yes.
To access it at these shelters or these pantries rather, because you're not getting the first day shipment. You're getting like the fourth day, third day. It's they're rotating it off their shelves because that's the rule, and it's still good. But it won't be good for long. So.
And we appreciate it as well. But sometimes we might get, you might get 200 crates of tomatoes or 20 crates of bananas, and so that's all you have to give is what you get.
Right.
So we try to mix it up. Whatever we get, we try to supplement that. We buy a lot of our own food. And so we try to supplement what we're getting from them.
So, okay, that kind of leads into the next question about financial support. I mean, do you also do, like, if somebody comes in and says, I can't pay my car payment, can you help them with that?
We do not help with car payments. But
or I just threw that out there.
Yeah, we do utilities. We will help with utilities.
I was going to say electric bill. I should have said that.
Yes. We definitely help with utilities, but we don't pay the whole bill.
Right.
We will supplement the bill, and the bill cannot be past due. And there's other requirements to make sure they qualify as well. But we will try to help with the utilities. We have a very small budget for that every month. So it goes really fast because there's a lot of folks that need help. There's a lot of folks that need help.
Every nonprofit talks about the need in the summertime.
Yes.
Because and the wintertime too, because the heating bill is no friend of us either. And so other groups I've talked to, they have a limit, they have a cap on how much they give, and they have a process.
Yes.
And they also have like many of the other assets, they will ration it out. And if they see the same customers over and over again, they're going to say, look, but we're going to have to figure out what's going on with your budget and try to work this out.
So our requirements are we'll only pay your utility bill once per year, and then it's 3 times a lifetime. Because we really can't afford it. For example, we started with a budget of $3,000 for $3,000 a month for this year, but because produce was so high, we had to cut that budget in half, and so we're giving about $1,500 a month, and a lot of it goes to produce, just trying to keep food on the pantry shelves.
Well, I'm looking at also your financial overview. And, you have the usual expenses and whatnot.
Yes.
A lot, because y'all pay bills too. I mean, your electricity isn't free for y'all either. And you got payroll to meet and things of that nature. You also have an SBA loan. My father used to work for the SBA. He passed away in August last year.
I'm sorry.
Well, he's with the Lord, so
Amen.
You know what I'm saying.
Glory be to God.
It was 87, and it was time, and I don't take it so cavalierly as it sounds, but we're okay. So anyway, so SBA loan, all that. Also, every nonprofit I know works on a shoestring budget.
Yes.
They're dependent upon donations.
Yes.
The kind of donations I've been told that y'all really treasure are those monthly small donations that y'all can count on.
Yes. $5 monthly. On a monthly basis goes a long way. I mean, we lose more than that in getting coffee that we don't drink, or getting a cup of tea that we don't drink. I mean, so if someone can donate $5 or $10, just reoccurring basis, it feeds so many people. It goes such a long way. And anyone could walk in at any time and speak with me and ask me, hey, so where's my money going as a donor? And I would love to sit down and talk to them, and I would love to give them a tour of the pantry and the medical clinic and show them exactly where their money is going, because we try to keep a very transparent attitude to the community because it matters. Every donation matters, but so does every person that comes to us in need.
And see, the Linda and Billing Hutchings Scholarship recipient, Mr. Joseph Zapata. I have a friend from high school named Joe Zapata, but that's not the same one. He's my age. Anyway, that's what I've been told though, is that you'll take that $1,000 gift, we'd be glad of it, right? But but you don't budget like that. You can't really count on that.
No.
And that everyone will say that $25, $15 worth. And the thing about it is, I've said this many times on these type of shows, is that we shouldn't be intimidated by the fact we can't give $1,000.
Oh, absolutely.
$10, $15, and let God take care of the rest.
Yes, absolutely. Your gift, if you're giving 10, God can turn that into 10,000.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're thankful for the 10. We're thankful for the 5. We're thankful for the 3. We really, truly are. And one of the things that we don't have in here this year, but we will next year, is that we also have a ton of sales at the thrift store.
Right.
And so like in June and July, we gave away $8,000 in savings for the community. So anybody that came and shopped in the thrift store, it was a total of $8,000 in savings. This past month, it was another $6,000 in savings. So we some people say, oh, your prices are high, but our prices are still the lowest when you look at the other thrift stores. And we're still putting things on sale so that people in the community can afford it.
It's a fundraiser. It's not, you're not making any profit off that.
Exactly.
I'm looking at also at your food assistance programs. To me, for whatever reason, that really strikes a chord with me, and personally, and has for a while, is the fact that we got people in our community that miss meals.
Yes.
And it's like, how can that be in the United States, and particularly in Texas?
Yes.
Because, we are, despite all the stuff we read in the newspaper about our economy or what's going on with oil prices, whatever, we are still a very prosperous nation.
Yes.
We've been blessed beyond our deservance, I can tell you that. But the idea that people are going without, it really like, that shouldn't be.
Well, Brad, if I may on that.
You go right ahead.
I love my country. I love my country. I couldn't wait to come back home. But the one thing we are is we sometimes can be a very prideful nation. And so we say, suck it up, push it down. Don't worry about it. Suck it up, push it down. And so you have a lot of people in America that suck it up, push it down, don't ask for help.
Well, that's my generation.
Right. And so because they're doing that, they're going without. And we try to get the word out there. It's okay to need somebody. And we even try to get the word out there. It is such a blessing not to just receive, but to give, right? And so the receive is just as important as the give portion.
Right.
And sometimes we don't want to receive it.
Well,
you're not supposed to do that.
Well, that's my generation. I mean,
Right.
we don't ask for help.
Right.
We don't ask for directions.
But we should.
Well, if I were in this situation now, God bless if I ever am, I know where to go.
Yeah.
But it'd be hard. All right, it'd be hard because that's not the way I was raised,
Absolutely.
and that kind of thing. And have I ever gone without meals? Not really, because I had the bank of mom and dad. If I ever really got in a pinch, when I was in my mid-20s and going back to school and all this other stuff. Yeah, I mean, the money was really, really tight, but I knew if I had to have a meal, I knew where to go and go to my parents' house. And my mom is like Sunday roast. I made all this extra roast. I don't know what to do with it. You want to take it home? Oh, yeah, Mom. So
who needs to go to the grocery store?
Yeah, right. Or, they had that was my food pantry and all that. But
well, unfortunately, a lot of our customers and clients and patients that we're seeing now are, a married couple that did not expect the spouse to die and didn't expect to put so much money into taking care of that spouse, and now they've always given to Crowley House of Hope, they've always given to Harvest House, but now they're in a position where they need help, and so we've talked to several of them. I'm like, please come.
But it also
so that's why we try to give with love and dignity.
Right. What struck me also as I visited these places is that people in there, some who don't have a contact with these places, think the recipients are of a certain type of demographic, shall we say. And you go into it and you see all of the people. And what struck me the first time I went into Promises was how many elderly people were there.
Yes. Yes.
We think, well, don't they have food stamps? Don't they have Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security? It didn't. Social Security isn't going to pay your bills. It wasn't meant to, but it is not going to. And the food stamp program, forget about it. I mean, it's really slim. It could be just barely enough for one meal, practically. So the idea that they have all this government assistance, particularly in these days, it's insufficient.
Right. And most people's retirement is built on two people, and then now one is gone, and so is that money. And now, how do you make ends meet? You don't want to sell your forever home. You don't want to sell your things, and you're just trying to make ends meet. So that's why we do have senior shares every Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month. We have senior shares, and it's just dedicated to all seniors, 60 and over.
60, okay.
60 and
so
over.
I qualify.
Yes. And you know what? And you can make, it doesn't matter how much money you have in retirement. It doesn't matter any of that stuff, your income or anything. You can come and you can sign in and you can get food. And you can have a great conversation, because we try to have a good conversation, a good time while we're there.
You mentioned something earlier about the needy versus the greedy kind of thing. All right. To go back to that story about the feeding of the 5,000, did everybody in that 5,000 deserve to be fed? That didn't even come up, did it?
It did not.
It didn't.
It did
Jesus
not.
said, feed them, right?
Yes.
Because I'm sure he knew there were freeloaders in the bunch, but he didn't say, okay, we're going to just distinguish between whom I think is worthy and who I think is not. That it just everybody gets fed. Second of all, it didn't ask for an ID.
An ID.
Yeah, y'all
how
don't
much
either.
you make.
Oh, how much you make? You don't ask questions about national origin, shall we say?
Right.
If somebody comes in, you don't even go down that path. Is this person here legally or not? And we shouldn't. That's not for us to decide.
That's right.
Jesus didn't say feed only your citizens with a photo ID.
Exactly.
So,
but what he did do is bless that food and prayed, and it multiplied. And so we got to continue to pray and let it multiply.
Yes, you do. Yeah, not just for food, but money, clothing, whatever else.
Yes.
And and the stories I hear about, shall we say, timely manner contributions really struck me, because I've had these conversations with a lot of your peers in nonprofits, and they talk about, well, we were thinking as we left the next day, unless we have a miracle, we're going to have a real problem tomorrow. And they come in and a miracle occurred.
Amen.
Whether it's a financial donation or in-kind donation or something like that. It's like I could tell you a dozen stories of like just in the nick of time kind of things. And, so one of the things that I don't know if you met a lot of your peers, but one of the things that I really like about this community is they work well together. And that's why I want to make sure on your schedule, September 17th.
Okay.
All right. It's North Texas Giving Day. This may be your first experience with North Texas Giving Day. And what they do is, they all over the state they have matching donations and whatever else, and they also have abilities to give, whatnot. But what we do here in Mr. Allard's neighborhood is we go to Gina's Pizza and do a remote. And all the nonprofits in the area that have been on the show, and even those that haven't been, will get about 7 or 8 minutes, and we just rotate them through. And what really is great about that show is not only you get like a brief advertisement, but you get to meet your peers. And, and a lot of these people know each other well by now, and they sit and have salad or pizza or tea or whatever, and they just kind of commune with each other, if you will, because it's hard. Running nonprofits is hard because you always got to be on the 24/7 fundraiser, and
you really do.
It's not any different than any other business, but y'all are totally dependent upon donations.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You may get some stuff. I'm probably deal with the North Texas Food Bank, I imagine.
Yes.
And I don't know. Do you deal with any county programs or anything like that?
Everything we do comes through Tarrant County. It all comes through Tarrant County. We buy 90% of our own food, so everything that comes into the thrift store goes right into the food pantry. It goes right into the medical clinic, and so we're always praying for more donations. But we're always praying for more donations. We're always praying for more volunteers. We're always praying for reoccurring donations. We're always praying that just God will just bless, because we really believe that He put us here for such a time as this to help the community. And we want to be here for both sides. We want to be here for those that want to give, but we also want to be here for those that really need the moment.
Well, that's what I hear from all of them, is that, they really feel fulfilled. Now, also, we need to sustain them in prayer and whatnot, because it is emotionally draining to some degree. I mean, because you're dealing with, in some cases, pretty desperate people, or in desperate situations, shall we say. And it's hard, and I don't know if I have the wherewithal to do it, but I talk to all the people about this. Yet something happens that makes them realize this is where I was supposed to be at this time.
It's interesting you would say that, because, I've been to a whole lot of war zones. I've worked with a whole lot of diplomats. I've worked with a whole lot of challenging folks, and we've done a lot of fundraising, and we've helped a lot of communities around the world. And so I felt like, this is going to be a great job for me, and I love it. But I tell you, I could not have prayed for a better position for myself. I love the staff. I love the volunteers. I love everyone that we serve. Those that need help, they're so humbly grateful. And the work is hard, but hard work ain't never killed nobody. It is hard work, but when you see that one person that you've helped, and you see their smile, and you see those children and how grateful they are, it just made that whole year worthwhile.
Yeah.
And when you see like the picture we had up there with the young men and, the young lady, that's just, they could be doing anything. They could be playing ball in the yard somewhere, but they chose to give to the community. If that doesn't, pull on your heartstrings, nothing will, man. Something's wrong, man. You need a defibrillator. Clear. You really, truly do. It's just, that matters to me, and that's what excites me every day, and say, you know what, Pam, let's keep doing this. Yeah. This is pretty freaking amazing.
It is, and what to quote my late father, when I was complaining about a job I had, he said, it's indoor work with air conditioning. What are you belly aching about? So I don't know if he said belly aching, but it's a PG show. But anyway, he's as an old Army guy, you can imagine he had an opinion about me complaining about a indoor job. But anyway, so it's a real blessing to the community, and we need to do this again. All right,
absolutely.
I'd like to have you on a regular basis, like I do the others. And I'm glad you brought this material, because it's good to see how much impact you're making on the community.
Absolutely.
You don't have a lot of other groups in Crowley that do this. I know there's a church or two that does this on a irregular basis, but you're the only one that's every day or every week, let's say.
Yes, absolutely.
What are your hours, by the way?
So for the food pantry, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 11 to 3. And we also, for those that can't make it during the day because they're working, we have a third Thursday evening. It starts at 6. And then we have a third Thursday Saturday. It starts at 11 to 1. So if you can't make it because you have to work, you can still come in on one of those days. And of course, we mentioned senior shares earlier. That's the first Tuesday. So we try to make a schedule where somebody can get in at least once a week, throughout that month and get some food.
If I were a new customer, so to speak, I'd come in and I'd talk to one of your staff.
Yes.
And they ask a few questions, as they should.
Yes.
But I won't be turned away, will I?
No, you will not. From a food pantry standpoint, we don't turn anyone away. You could be from Houston. You can be from wherever. We also often get people here that says, hey, I came to Texas because someone said I had a job and I got here and the job wasn't settled and I don't have any food.
Right.
We're going to feed them.
Or,
we're going to take care of them. And then we'll try to connect with our partners to say, hey, does anyone have housing that can put this person up? Right. And so we're going to do that as well. For seniors, they can come in during the Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, but they also can come in for senior shares. So they can come in twice a month because our seniors matter to us that much. We want to make sure we're taking care of them.
Well, it's really great getting to meet you. And next time, I don't know, we'll schedule something soon, October maybe.
Sounds
things like
good.
that. And here, I just want to give your son some a heads up. If you have an event like you did Saturday, let me know. I could throw it on we have rotating, not just ads, but at the end of the show, I do, okay, here's what's going on in the other nonprofit world. If they have events, fundraisers, Wings of Hope had one Friday night, and we were running that for a couple of weeks. And Next Step had Christmas in July, and we ran that throughout July. And there's no bill in the mail, so it's
okay.
My sponsors pay, but nonprofits don't. If I ever did ask for nonprofits to pay, my wife would say, I said, between facing the Lord or facing the wife, I'll take my chances with the Almighty. We made that clear from day one that it's not going to happen. So anyway, we do have something with the Chamber of Commerce on September 18th. It's going to be at the Next Step Women's Center. It's the Power Hour. The Burleson Chamber does a lot of good work. They're on monthly, and we talk about these things. And a lot of the nonprofits are members of the chamber, and it's something to consider. You don't have to be from Burleson. It's a Burleson area. They got people from Alvarado, Joshua, and Cleburne, and Crowley that are members of the chamber. So 8:30 to 9:30, that's a Friday, September 18th, the Next Step Women's Center. And they're just going to talk about work-life balance and work-life harmony. And also, they have the ad for one more thing, I believe?
They have the cruise coming up.
Oh, the cruise, and we'll talk about that. Yeah, and they got a cruise. Yeah, it's just you could get some discounted fares, and it's through the Chamber of Commerce, and there are several of them going to go, and they're going to go around Mexico and all that business. I do know on October 15th they're going to have the Next Step Gala, which is a big deal.
Okay. That's October 15th.
Right, that's at evening time. It's going to be at a hotel very close to here. It's that, it's a DoubleTree, but it's been like 19 different hotels, but it's on Alta Mesa and the highway. It's near Alcon, and it's a big deal. And also that morning, I believe that's the morning, a group I'm with, the Burleson Opportunity Fund, which we provide scholarships for Burleson area students.
Okay.
The Opportunity Fund, they're going to have the breakfast. That's a full day, that 15th.
Okay.
So let's see who I got next week. I'm just going to make sure I do it right, because quite often I will say, oh, you're coming. No, they're not coming. And I end up looking like a goof. But anyway, it's not the first time, certainly. Where is my silly little, there it is, calendar. Look for that. All right, tomorrow I have Sandy Mason, like I mentioned. And next week I have Tina Michael, who wrote a book, and she's also involved in a charity event for people with facial abnormalities. I'll put it that way, abnormalities. Okay. Also, like I said, I have your colleague Tracy Pope in a couple weeks. We're going to have the mayor on probably about a week from tomorrow.
Okay.
And get to grill him because it's budget time. And it's this is when they put the budget together, and then
it's our food drive time. So we're gonna go talk to the mayor about our food drive.
I'm sure. So you have the food drive right now?
No, it starts in the fall.
Oh, the fall.
It'll definitely start in the fall, but they do an amazing job supporting us.
I'll tell you this story. I've told it many times before, but since you're new, when I was at Burleson High School as a teacher and also a student council sponsor, I drew the short straw apparently, and was like, I think the year is 2006, I'm going to say, but 5, 6, something like that. We always had a food drive around Thanksgiving for Harvest House. And, and usually we'd have a pretty decent turnout. But we had one young lady whose married name now is Jennifer Sando, who just ramrodded the whole thing for us. And, I mean, I don't know what she did, but she got those kids to donate. We were overwhelmed. It took 4 flatbed trailers of food over to Harvest House the day before the Thanksgiving break. And this is when they didn't have the resale. They just had that one place on Thomas. And we pull up in the back, and I go in there, and I said, we got some food for you. And the 2 ladies working there start tearing up. And I go, did I say something? They said, no, you come. I want to show you something. They took me back there. There was 2 bags of groceries on the shelf.
Oh, wow.
0, nada. All right, because they've been cleaned out.
Yeah.
And here we come in 4 trucks, and we had like 8 tons. And they were just, it choked me up, choked the kids up. Because you talk about a timely delivery.
Yes.
And we didn't know that was going on.
On time.
Yeah.
On time.
It left an impression on all of us because it's not that the community wasn't giving, it was Thanksgiving, and they get a lot of need.
Yeah.
And so we come in with all this corn and peas and canned meat, and it was an emotionally moving experience, and it never left me.
And, there's so much we take for granted. So we're always telling people, hey, just go through your cabinets at least once a month. And if you're not using it, just bring it to us. Don't let it expire.
Yeah.
Just bring it to us. Even if it's 2 cans, just drop those 2 cans off to us. It makes a difference.
It makes a difference.
Makes a difference.
Well, I really enjoyed meeting you. And like I said, before we leave, we could schedule something for October. And again, we'll see you on the 17th, I hope. It starts around... You probably need to be at Gina's at 10:30. You know where Gina's is by any chance? Because you're new to the area.
I do not.
It's on Renfro. It's on the main drag.
Okay.
Right near the Renfro-Wilshire intersection. Nice big sign. Okay. It's next to the CVS.
Yes. I know where the CVS is.
All right. And so Gina's is right next door to that. And it's across the street from the Harvest House Resale Center. And you probably know where that is. So it's right there. Great pizza. Great time. Otto is a real generous person. So... There you go. Josh.
Such a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having both of us.
Yeah, it's quite all right.
I know he was so talkative.
I know
next time we got
next time let us talk, all right, bro? I mean, you got to get a word in around you. It's okay. It's okay. But if you have something going on, like a special event or a special drive, just send it over to the same email address, and we'll just throw it up there.
We'll do, absolutely. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for participating on the screen. I hope y'all share this with your friends because this
thank you guys out there. Yeah. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all of you, and thank you for all the comments.
Kim has a pretty widespread network, and she's really supportive of these kind of programs. So thank you very much. All right, and we will see you tomorrow with Sandy Mason.